What's up guys, this is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about creating an epic life on your terms. Today we're talking about how mature INFJs handle rejection. As we all know, INFJs do face a lot of rejection, but it doesn't mean that this has to be a bad thing. Actually, it keeps on hurting us if we keep staying stuck where we're at. The moment we say we're able and willing to grow, we recognize that rejection is just part of the journey, and every single person, INFJ or not, has to deal with rejection if they want to succeed. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you want to take the next step in creating your epic life and you want my help in it, then work with me privately. All the information you find below. So let's talk about rejection. I do believe that INFJs do face more rejection than the average person. As long as we stay in society and we want to play a part of it, how we've been taught to do all our life. So if we become part of a social group, we are part of a community, we always have to deal with the fact that we are probably a little different. We are that 1%. We're those that have different ideas and different understandings, and going out and sharing that will cause rejection. These are the facts. We cannot deny it. But what I believe that most INFJs completely misunderstand is that this will stay this way until the moment you decide, okay, I'm not going to stay part of this community in a way of I'm going to apply myself and be the best version of myself by adapting, right? Because this is what we've learned. We as INFJs are great chameleons. We know how to behave in social situations. We know how to adapt, how to be the optimal person that this society or this friendship group would want from us, right? We have learned this all our life. And so it's always in the back of our mind that once we would express who we really are, once we would show our true sides, it will lead to rejection. And it's that fear that keeps us moving forward. Because rejection is the truth. It's not like I'm going to tell you, oh, you start sharing your truth and then people will not reject you. It's the other way around. People will reject you and they'll reject you over and over again. But once you say, I'm willing to take this challenge on, I'm willing to overcome this burden, I'm willing to overcome this fear and this anxiety that I carry within me. Once you're able to go beyond that, you recognize that you're in a boat with absolutely everything who takes charge in their life, INFJ or not. When you do that, rejection is part of growth. You've seen all of those posters where it's like success is failure, 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 failure. Or you could also say rejection, 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 rejection. That's just part of the journey. For example, this channel, only 5 to 10% of everybody that my video is being shown to clicks on it. Out of those who do click on it, probably 30% drop off in the first minutes. That's reality. But this is not what I focus on. What I focus on is that the more I grow, there are also more people able to see what I can offer. There are more possibilities for me and what I can offer to be liked, to be appreciated, to be valued, and to be experienced. And you have to accept this for everything you do in life. It's always this way. You will have to face more rejection, then you'll face success, then you'll face people saying yes to you, people accepting you the way you are. If you stay back in chameleon mode and you stay in a way how people would want you, of course you're not going to get rejected. You know, the safest way not to get rejected is just not to dare to do anything. But every single person, INFJ or not, once they start going towards something, this is part of our journey. This is something that you cannot deny. I can only repeat this. And so many have written to me about this, actually in the last days even, where it's like, I'm scared to share my truth, my passion, what I believe in, because people will reject it. They will say, I'm crazy, I'm stupid, I'm delusional, nobody understands me. You know that this is one of the things that INFJs say about themselves all the time, being misunderstood, that people don't understand where we're coming from, what this is all about. So why even share? And unless you change your mindset about this and accept this as a given, you'll always have this fear within you because you're not going to be able to ever avoid it. I'm not here to tell you, oh, you're going to be liked. There are going to be people who appreciate you. No, it doesn't work like this. It's more like you take it on to say, this is who I am, and if you reject me, then I'm okay with this. I'm totally fine with this, but here comes the twist. I learned my lesson from it. Because we as INFJs, you have to imagine we live in a fantasy world. That's how NI works. We don't live in the real world, and the less information and feedback we get from the external world about who we really are, the less we know how people will react. How often has it happened to you, specifically in the past, where you felt like, oh, I would have such a great connection with that person. They understand me. They would really appreciate what I have to say. And then you open up, you say something, and the other person doesn't know what you're talking about. They don't understand what you want. And what do you keep doing? You keep sharing and explaining yourself and trying to make it easier, as if you're trying to explain your language to the other person. Because for you, the thought of, okay, I thought this person would understand me. And if even that person doesn't understand me, what does that say about me? That says about me that my thoughts don't matter, that I'm completely alone on this earth, and this will only get worse. The reason why we believe this is because we haven't tried out often enough to share our truth and haven't gotten the feedback for it. In one of my last videos, I talked about all drama dies hard, and there it was all about staying obsessed with people over and over again. And in a lot of cases, we do this because we still believe that there's something that this person has to validate us for. This has been one of my downfalls in all my 20s. All the people that I got stuck on, those were all things where I wanted that person's validation. It was something that I didn't believe I deserved. And most of the time, it's not something that's that obvious. It's not like, oh, okay, am I smart enough? Am I interesting enough? More often than not, it's things like, am I a good person? Am I being kind enough? Am I being generous enough? Those things where we feel like, okay, in the end, looking back at it, I probably went overboard. I gave so much more than I was expecting back. And every single time we do that, every single time we overcompensate, it's because we don't believe that we have this value within us. And that's how a lot of rejection happens. It's not just about sharing your ideas and your ideas are not being accepted. It's also about sharing who you are. It's all one and the same. And the more often you go out and you do share your truth and you get that direct rejection and you know, okay, these people don't accept it, you are then able to move on, learn from this, and then share with people who would have a much bigger chance of giving you the feedback that you're looking for. So I want you to understand this very carefully. If you open up and you share your message and you get rejected by that one person or that one group, that doesn't mean that you have to explain yourself more. If they don't get it, they probably won't get it right away. Maybe they'll come back at this point, but it's not your task to keep on explaining yourself, to making it easier for them to understand. It's actually the other way around. It's about you understanding, okay, I did my one step. If I don't get the same step back, then that means that person or that situation is not the right one for me. Those are not the people that are right for my life. Remember, we're seeing it through your perspective. You're the leading character of your movie. You're the one who built something for yourself. And with every single time we get a feedback from our environment, positive or negative, we get to re-examine our view of reality. We as INFJs have to be extremely careful about what we think reality is. I was so convinced I knew the truth about reality. I was so convinced that I understood people so perfectly. I was that naive, specifically in my 20s. I thought that's such a good person and I'm the one who hurt them, or the reason why this is not working out is because they don't understand me and I'm just not able to explain myself, or people think I'm crazy. And I wasn't at this point yet where I recognized that the only people that are in my life right now are the people that I have chosen. And if I subconsciously feel that my ideas are too much out there, then I'm going to surround myself with people who give me the exact same feedback. So if you keep preaching to the same kind of people, you're always going to get the same result back, which is overall rejection. But how often do you actually do that? Most of us don't. It's those two situations. Either it's I shared something once, nobody reacted, that means people don't like what I have to say, and I go back into my shell. Or we go the other direction where we say I share something, I don't get that feedback, so I have to explain myself more. I have to make it better. I have to make it more understandable. When in the end, the solution is neither of those. It's to understand this is who I am, this is what I have to share, and with every single feedback we get from our environment, positive or negative, we get to re-examine our NI, our vision. We get to create a new vision of reality that fits our life more and more. This is so extremely important, and you'll never be able to completely grasp this concept until you're willing to go into the direction of rejection, until you're ready and able to say, I'm here to be judged because I know that no matter how people judge me, it has absolutely nothing to do with me. And it's scary, specifically in the beginning, beginning when you're not used to it. We have so many blocks that we carry with us. For me, in a lot of ways, I was scared to show my strength. I was scared to go outside of the norm, outside of the box, and do something that wasn't what the people around me were doing. Starting my own business, starting my own channel, getting out of all those popular groups before, and finally caring about the things that matter to me the most. I was saying no to all of those groups. I was willing to get rejected then and there because I knew I cannot hide this part of me anymore. So many of us feel so alone. So many of us feel misunderstood. And it's not so much because you're facing rejection over and over again and learning from it. It happens because you either try to convince the same people over and over again that you have something to say and you don't learn your lesson from it, which is that just because they don't understand you doesn't mean that what you have to say is less valuable. Because once you understand this, once you're able to close those doors on those people, you automatically move forward. See, now I don't feel like I'm doing anything extraordinary because the people I surround myself with are people who have their own business, are people who want to grow and do something extraordinary. This has become my new normal. I don't even know that old world anymore. But all that time before, I was constantly fighting with myself and wondering what is wrong with me, why I'm being rejected over and over again. And this, my friends, happens because we're still giving other people the power to make us feel inferior. So how do we change that? How do we get to a point where we see rejection for what it is, which is a stepping stone every single time? We're looking for rejection on a higher scale in order to get information out of it that will then help us to move into a direction where we and our world match more with each other, where it fits more, where we feel like this makes sense. In order to make this happen, it has to start with us creating a part of us that is not up for debate. It's something that you decide. I remember watching a lot of those motivational videos, and probably like even 8 years ago, there's always this quote from Will Smith, and he said, "You just have to decide who you are." And I was like, what does that mean? Like, how are you supposed to decide? If it was that easy, I would have decided a long time ago. But now I know what this is about. You can teach yourself and discipline yourself to say, no matter who's in my life, I don't care if it's my friends, my family, coworkers, there's a part of me that is not up for debate. And if people don't like this part of me, then that's their problem. Let them reject me. Let them make a judgment call about me. But I'm not going to be the one who will hide it from now on. I will show this part of me because I know that the people around me won't like it, but I know that I do. And because I do, I can live with myself. I'm okay with being rejected here because I know that every single time I have this feeling in myself, that feeling of hurt. And most of the time we feel it in our chest. It's sadness, it's abandonment, because in the end, we're social beings. We want to be part of a group. That's how we're wired. But we can use our intellect and we can use our higher knowledge to recognize what that feeling is really about. Because most of the time, this is not the first time you've been rejected for showing that part of yourself. This is probably something that you've been carrying with you since you were a child. The first time you opened yourself up and you got shut down by friends, by peers, by authority figures, it doesn't matter. And we have learned that in order to be accepted, in order to be tolerated, we have to hide that. And this is something that we keep with ourselves all our life until we tackle it, until we understand that we cannot hide from this. On some level, we feel we're not good enough. And we have to bring it forward. We have to see that. We can't hide from that because subconsciously, what we're trying to do is to solve this problem over and over again. So we're trying to prove to somebody else that yes, we are worthy. We're trying to prove to them that if I just give more, if I hold myself back, if I try to adapt, then you're gonna accept me. We're trying to get the validation that we're so looking for when we were children, for example. But it's not going to happen. That thing happened back then, and you can't get that feeling back. The only thing you can do is to now feel those feelings, heal them, and then to say, I don't need to get validation for this thing again. I don't need to get validation that my thoughts matter. I don't need to get validation for the fact that my life matters, that my dreams matter, that the way I see reality matters. Because the moment you accept that you make those rules, you're not looking for that external validation. You just state it as something that cannot be changed. Like I'm sitting in front of you and I say, yes, I'm in Madrid right now. I don't care if you tell me, no, that's not true. You're in Japan. I know I'm not in Japan. I know I'm in Madrid. This is like something I know. I know what my real name is. I know what nationality I am. I know these things. So if other people have a different opinion about this, then this is their prerogative, but it has absolutely nothing to do with me. And that's how rejection is supposed to be taken. The more you get used to the rejection part and you're aware that you learn from it, this is information, nothing more. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has only something to do with the people who do reject you. And the same thing goes for validation, positive validation. If you give up any emotional attachment to rejection, you also give up emotional attachment to validation and to praise. You see it as background noise. Both of those things, because you're doing what you feel is right, and with every single step you take, you build your self-confidence up, because the self-confidence doesn't come from the fact that people appreciate it or they don't reject you. It comes from the fact that you say, I know that this is what I have to say, I know that this is who I am, and I know that I'm fighting for myself. And every single time you're able to keep a promise you've made to yourself, your self-confidence grows. You're able to put yourself in a situation where rejection could happen on a much bigger scale. With me, looking back at, for example, the first videos, the way I presented myself, the way I saw the world, the way I saw how big I could be in this world was so much smaller than it is right now. And the reason why I was able to grow in this capacity was because I was willing to take on one more level of rejection and praise and say no to it. One more level of saying, okay, I choose me in this situation, and I don't look left and right what society has to say about it from a perspective of, does this make me valuable? I look at the rejection and I look at the praise as feedback of telling me, am I meeting the things that they want? Does this correspond with what I want to say? Because in a lot of ways, you find yourself, you recreate your reality, but more and more you become this person that is unchangeable, but you just show up in a way how you can serve better, how you can help yourself and others, and you create abundance on a bigger scale. So the most important thing I've learned in all of this is that I will never be that naive to think that I'm completely self-reliant. I know that there's so many areas where I'm still looking for validation, where rejection still hurts me. I don't believe that it will ever go away, but it will always be on higher levels, because every single time a rejection happens and it hurts me, I get to reevaluate myself. I get to recognize, why did it hurt me? What was this really about? Do I really care if these people don't like me or don't like what I have to say? What am I really afraid of? And how can I change that? Unless we're able to look at it from that perspective, we cannot grow. The things I used to do before were to constantly ask myself, oh, I wasn't good enough. I have to explain myself more to that person. I have to become better. There's something wrong with me because I'm so sure that the image I have of that person is correct and they're good and they should like me, and the fact that they don't says something about me and not them. But that's just not the case. Most people will reject you. Most people will not understand your idea. They will hopefully accept you as a human being because in the end we're all connected. But your ideas, your truth, that is so uniquely you. And even those superstars that we all know that have millions of fans, they still live in the same world. There are also still 100 people who said no to that person before that one person says yes. And if you see 100 million people who follow them, then you can imagine that 1 billion people have heard about that person and they don't choose to follow them. They don't choose to be a part of that. Of course, the bigger you get, the more the social norm makes it a normality. The more it is accepted by society, the more we feel like, oh, that's a good thing. It's like seeing, okay, everybody else does it, everybody else likes this and accepts this, so I'm going to accept it. This is also how our mind works. But this is on a big scale. That is not the thing that should lead our life. This is not the thing that should hold us back. So every single time you still believe that you're being rejected because your opinion doesn't matter or because nobody will understand you, trust me, you're not dreaming big enough. You haven't gone out and gotten enough rejections yet. Remember, when you go out and you have a message, from 100 people that you'll share your message with, 1 will understand. And once you understand this reality, you're then able to share your message with 1,000 people, from which also 1% will understand. And then it keeps on growing. This is part of how nature works. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Your unique point of view matters. You don't need to look at all those people who can't benefit from it, because you can't benefit from them either. Think about that one person who does understand you. Think about that one person who wants to see you win. Think about that one person that you can help, and in a way that doesn't sabotage yourself. change your attitude towards rejection. I really hope that helped you and inspired you to go after your dreams. And if you want my help in creating an epic life, then work with me privately. All the information you find below. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch my video on All Drama Dies Hard, because there we talk about all the obsessions we can't let go of. It has a lot to do with rejection as well. Like always, guys, I wish you a wonderful day, a great week, and I talk to you next time. Bye.